How can we avoid being hurt? The only way not to get hurt is to stop living. There's a beautiful Hindi saying that works. It works much better in Hindi, but I'll give you the English. The saying is, that which bends is that which has life in it. That which is rigid is how you know it's a corpse. When we are alive, the hallmark of being alive is we bend. We bend in humility. We bend in surrender. We bend when the winds and waves of life hit us so hard that we find ourselves flat on our face, literally or emotionally. But this is a hallmark of being alive. The only thing that doesn't bend is a corpse. So if you want to stop being hurt, you have to shut yourself off from life. And the reason is, when we care, when we love, and what we care about or who we love doesn't act in the way we want or speak in the way we want or treat us in the way we want or do what we want, it hurts us. So either we stop caring, or we stop loving, or we recognize we're going to get hurt. But that's stage one. There is a way to keep loving without getting hurt. But it's not something you can just snap your fingers or, rub your nose and make happen. That is actually the practice of really unconditional love. We think we love unconditionally. If you say to most people, so tell me about, how you feel about your children or your spouse. And a lot of the complaints that you'll hear is, God, I love unconditionally. But oh my God, he does this or she does that. They're the worst. You think, really? Doesn't sound so unconditional to me. I love them unconditionally. But then they keep hurting me. Well, if it were really unconditional, meaning no conditions, I wouldn't have such an attachment to what they did or said, and therefore I wouldn't be hurt. Now, there's an important difference between unconditional love and apathy. Thanks. Our lack of attachment is not a lack of caring. It's not apathy. It's not indifference. What it says is, my sense of well-being, my sense of happiness, my sense of myself is not hooked in to what you do or say. If everybody could maybe put your mobiles on silent, that would be fantastic. Just take a moment and check and make sure your cell phones are on silent. Thanks. So, I can love you. But if I need you to talk to me in a certain way, to live your life in a certain way, in order for me to feel happy, then that's a recipe for disaster. I'm going to get hurt. we don't have control over what anybody else does. We only have control over ourselves. And so the only way ultimately not to get hurt is to stop having that expectation. But it doesn't mean we stop loving. It doesn't mean we stop caring. It doesn't mean we turn our heart into a corpse. It means we work and we work and we work with ourselves to allow the love to be its own reward. Because the things that I think I need you to do are all for me. I'm going to tell you it's for your own good. But it's actually for me. And if you really look at it, if you really look at the stuff that hurts us, it always has to do with an expectation we had of how someone was going to behave. And sometimes it's little things. Sometimes it's cleaning their room, helping with the dishes, remembering a birthday or anniversary, bringing flowers, saying thank you, saying I love you. Sometimes it's those things. Sometimes it's big things. We expect the people we love not to leave us. We expect the people we love not to betray us. So spanning the whole gamut, it's not always small things. But what we have to recognize is that the love that we experience is the reward. Love is not a guarantee. Just because I love you, I don't get any guarantee that you're going to bring me flowers, that you're going to love me back, that you're not going to leave me, that you're going to make the choices in your life that I want you to make. And so if my focus in the love is on you dancing to my tune, today or tomorrow I'm going to get hurt. Or you're going to just become my slave, at which point I've just squeezed the life out of you. Which, if I'm honest with myself, is not very fulfilling to live with. Many of us do that unconsciously. We pressure and pressure and pressure and nag and nag and nag the people around us in such a way that they just, fine. But what we're doing then is we're squeezing the life out of them. If what we wanted was a servant or a slave, we could, find one, hire one. You don't want to live with one. You don't want your love to be that. Love has to be alive. And if love is alive, then you have free will. And what that means is that my focus on love needs to be on love as its own reward, not on, through love, how can I get you to do what I want? Does that make sense? The love itself is what feeds us. And yeah, we get hurt. But keep going back to allow yourself to have that experience of love. That's what life's about. And I don't just mean romantic love. Doesn't matter who you love. Love your friends. Love the trees. Love humanity. Love pets. Love God. But we've got to love. And being hurt is part of it. Until we can pull our hooks of our own heart out of how other people act. And it's the only secret to loving and not getting hurt. The only other option is you turn your heart into a corpse or a stone or something with no life, which of course isn't any solution at all.